Well, it's just about my build in Second Life, which features the Poland history and also some culture and language. And you can come here most of the Sundays to play trivia if you want. Sundays, the shift is Sunday at 11 a.m. and the activity, the fireside chat, is right after it's on 12 p.m. On the noon.
Yeah, I actually thought we might go. I think we're just close to the Octagon one. I think, if I'm right, is it closer on our way? I think.
I'm just going to follow somebody.
Other side of the fair.
Oh, I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. So I'll cycle there. If anyone wants to cycle, it's this way.
And you look at all the words that are around the carpet. These are the active words that describe all the things that we do at the Octagon. And we have many ways of experimenting and creating with different kinds of groups and different kinds of activities.
Yes, this is really, if anybody has a technique that they use in their teachings that is experiential, that involves students jumping in and doing something, especially taking advantage of the affordances of 3D. So something that involves using the environment where people jump in and try things in the workshop as a way of learning. This is a series of workshops to share those techniques and learn from each other. So we really welcome, if you in your own teachings would like to share a technique, do get in touch, because each month there's a different technique on offer and they've been really interesting so far.
The first Monday of every month at 10 a.m. Second Life.
Exactly, yes. And we have the next one coming up is from the world of theatre.
The other thing I want to point out is this book that's been written about me recently. It's not a great big book. It's maybe 35 or 40 pages by J.B. LeBrun, who did the third workshop in this series of programs that we've been scheduling. All about sort of living from the imagination and from the creative part of ourselves, the intuitive part. That's my specialty here. Whereas a lot of people like use the technology for building landscapes or buildings or objects. I use it metaphorically. I use all the arts processes and technology metaphorically and symbolically to find out more about ourselves and more about our communities and more about our projects. So if that interests you, you can always contact me or Sophia to find out more.
welcome to this parcel. The idea here is to show Kindred Pixels, which is all about the participation as a structured process that people can have tiers of participation and gradually encourage and guide members of a community to take deliberate steps forward in participation, how you can structure that as a whole. That's one of the principles behind Kindred Pixels, and it's recognizing that communities are living systems. So there are a couple of tools around the place you can see. This one is an example of helping to see the whole system in the room, helping to visualize what other communities are present. Then these tools over here are to help people be aware of the kind of hidden weather in the room, to be aware of what people might be feeling or thinking, and they're able to anonymously express themselves. So that could be useful for certain moments in a community. And they're all just ways of helping to make things visible that are often not visible. If you click on the little mesh coffee cup sign, a temporary screen will come up, and if you click on that, it'll bring the map up and you can go there. So there are member cafes in our community, and we really care for the member cafes, and each one we try and make them feel good about how they're seen, and there's a little picture with the owner of the cafe, and it was fun to make this these mesh signs. I've been chatting to Val about how we can make more immersive ways to navigate from community to community. So in a sense, you can see that each coffee cup represents a whole cafe, and that's a whole ecosystem. That's a whole community that someone is really trying hard to build. So this is in a way of how we can network between the communities, which I have to say is very rewarding and very hard, because obviously people want to care about their own community, and it's how do you get a community to see the worth in contributing to the bigger whole? And I know I'm preaching to the converted here, because that's what everybody here is doing. So, but I'm just showing you this is an example of where our practice is here. So this is it. So there's coffee and co-working is the example of the community we've built, and Kindred Pixels is the principles behind it, because not everyone in coffee and co-working is necessarily going to be interested in the deeper community building principles behind it, and for that it's usually Kindred Pixels. And I just want to mention that Octagon is also there at the back, because we feel really aligned with the way that Marley and Octagon, the whole experiential side of things is for me very exciting. So we're sort of building it feels like we're building connections with different communities here. Yes, and with Val's digital citizenship work, and so I appreciate so much what VWEC has, that we've been able to discover more easily about each other's communities and have a way to get to know each other. So yeah, that's this that's this one.
This was founded in 2021. This is a joint effort between Community Virtual Library, and it was the idea of Marley and Melina to create this library as a place where we can celebrate the musical talents that are in SL, and specifically ones who are original works. And we normally have concerts the fourth Sunday of each month at 11 a.m. SLT. And yes, we have this beautiful building that was created by Don Gray Mist. The library used to be on Cookie, which was the original location for the community virtual library, which is now moved. Well, the library is now, the virtual library is now here on at the Edgeverse, VWEC, but the music library has moved to Inspiration Bay, and there's all sorts of posters along the back wall of musicians that have performed at the library over the last few years. But it's an amazing place, and I would love to have more people come.
My stuff has been there for a long time. If you go up to the second floor of the library, you can listen to my stuff and you can take scores. Like if you play the piano and you want to be able to play some of the pieces that you hear, you can do that. And there's also a singer-songwriter album.
We've lost Atlantis. I think it's round this way. Is it?
Well, this is really spontaneous. I wasn't planning to do this. All right. Well, let's see if I can give you some information. Well, all of these info boards really are loaded with all the information that you need. So I would recommend basically collecting the note cards from each of these info objects and just reading through the information that is there. What is Verplantis? Essentially, we have a long history. In the past, we focused mainly on language learning, but we are going to open things up to other subjects. We already have, really, with the logic being that any and every subject, whether it be math, chemistry, archaeology, or whatever, also involves language exchange, right? And potential, opportunities for language practice and whatnot, language exposure. Basically aiming for promoting lifelong learning with kind of a focus on language learning, but not exclusively. We have lots of free resources on offer. Something that is very new is we've added an additional sim. We have a total of 7 sims at the moment. The last sim that we added, which will probably be the final sim, I think, that we add, is the academia sim, which might be interesting to you guys. So we're essentially offering to any educator or educator community that needs a free parcel and a sandbox space, for example, could come and claim a space for free. What we're trying to do at Verplantis now is to concentrate as much activity there as possible. So we're trying to kind of join forces with other language communities, educational communities, artists, musicians, etc., so as to create a kind of a concentration effect that everybody can benefit from activities offered by those different communities. Everybody kind of benefits from that concentration of avatar activity. Basically, the idea is using AI and going from snapshots, so basically any image, right? Any picture that you take in Second Life can be turned into some kind of learning material. But essentially, if you can imagine this, you can take a picture of anything and turn it into a dual language, some kind of learning material for yourself. Like I said, everything from like anything you can imagine, really. Everything from a dialogue to song lyrics to a mini lesson to whatever. And I'm using custom GPTs with customized AI scripts to do this. Basically allow people to upload a single image and generate all kinds of customized learning content. I think it's a game changer in many respects, in my opinion, because it can help us to see how something like Second Life can really be seen as a kind of canvas, a canvas for all kinds of learning and creativity.
the Virtual Worlds Education Roundtable, which is a discussion group. Well, we have discussions and we have visits, and there's a focus on using text chat. So sometimes we discuss a particular topic, and sometimes we have visits, or with a focus on education, and usually education in virtual worlds. So as Val said, it's been going since about 2008. And then there is over here a group joiner, and these are some of the people who organize and lead discussions and so forth regularly. And at the side, there's these lanterns. If you click those, they have text chat transcripts. So as some of you know very well, to help those with hearing impairments, and also just because some people like that format, we do have a focus on using text chat rather than voice in our discussions. We're going to be participating in the Virtual Worlds MOOC again this year. Sophia, I think, are leading another session about a discussion about communities, and also I'm going to be leading a session which is looking at trends in education, which is taken from the Horizon, the EDUCAUSE Horizon Teaching and Learning Report, picking up on what they say are the social, economic, technological and so forth trends for higher education and technology, and discussing whether we agree with them, whether they're applicable to other domains and things like that.
Yeah, I think one of the things we are dealing with is that, how should I put it? A lot of people, when they speak of AI, don't think of it broadly enough. So they think of it, they kind of see it all kind of wrapped up as one little thing, but in reality, there's lots of different dimensions to this whole topic of AI.
Think about, what is the difference between how AI responds to a command for something simple and how people do. And also recognizing that as people, we are also conditioned with certain data and certain responses which show up even when we're creating from scratch. So it's kind of interesting what happens with that.
There's a community of people who come along regularly, and then there's other people who dip in and out. And as I said, one of the aims is that people shouldn't feel that they have to be talking away if they don't want to. It's kind of so-called lurking is perfectly okay.
Thank you. That's really helpful. It's lovely that there's a place where that dialogue that can be deepened, and it's specifically about that. So thank you, Shiga.